Hi everyone, it's Nicole and I have another layout with you, and it's the last layout using the Neverland Studio Calico March kit, and I'm so happy. I can't wait to start the new kit. Although I had so much fun, I absolutely love these papers, and that's why I couldn't put it down. I was going to stop at 20 layouts, and this is actually layout 28 with the March kit. And what I did was I filmed my Calico video. And once I was done with that, I took basically the paper and I threw it in the garbage. I think I kept one strip of, I think it's 2.5 or 2 3/4 by 12, and a couple of the branding strips because it wasn't papers that I used, because it was different than the papers that I used in my pages. So I kept those, and that was it. Everything else, garbage. And this layout took me 1 hour and 24 minutes to complete, and it's the 4th layout for the Facebook challenge. Out of 50, I actually completed 50 pages, and I'm starting all over again because I really liked that I got so much done. So I just took a lot of the scraps that I had left, and I thought it'd be fun to create this rectangle effect around, going from, a big rectangle and then getting smaller and smaller and smaller and creating my background that way. So now that I've kind of placed everything where I think, it kind of fits, I'm going to start gluing everything down using my ATG gun. And some of the paper was smaller than the 12-inch, so I'm just going to supplement using one of my favorite papers, that Kezi Art paper, the one I'm cutting out right now. And I'm just going to make it so that it kind of finishes the strip. And at the end, you only see a couple. I do it in quite a few places, but you only see a couple. That's okay, because as I'm creating the background, I don't know what's going to show and I don't know what's not going to show, because at this point, I don't even know what pictures I'm using. I just had this idea that this is what I wanted to do with the rest of my scraps. So I just went with it. And then once all this was done, I went through and grabbed a picture and my embellishments and then just kept on going. So I'm going to keep, cutting down the strips. I never cut down on the width. I just cut down on the length, just so that it would fit in that amount of space that I was kind of using. So it's going to take me a few minutes to kind of go around the page and glue it all down. And this time I didn't ink the edges just because I wanted something different. I just kind of like to change it up once in a while. I like my pages to look, even though I did 28 pages with the same kit, I want the pages to look different. And even though what I do to help that too is, before I start with my next kit, I'm going to go through a whole bunch of photos, and I don't know what pattern paper I'm going to use it with, but I'm just going to have a stack of photos. And I go through, let's say, my New York trip, my Toronto trip, my daughter's competition, and just daily stuff that goes on around here or whatever. And I make a big pile, and then as I scrapbook, I just go through that pile so I don't have to think of the thousands of photos that I have here. And then that way I'm kind of dwindling down certain things. And also what it does is none of these categories of photos are in the same album. So then I'm kind of splitting up the pattern paper in different albums. So it doesn't, if there are some pages that look kind of the same, you won't be able to tell because it'll be in different albums. So that also helps. So at this point, I'm done creating the background, and then I'm going to choose a photo. And it was just a photo that we had taken on top of the Empire State Building, and I really liked it. You just saw like the horizon of New York, and you saw one of the bridges, and I really liked it. So I wanted a brown background just to kind of ground it on my page, and I'm going to leave the ground cardstock kind of extending because that's where I'm going to put a piece of journaling card, and I'm going to cut it down to size, and that's where I'm going to put my journaling. And then I'm going to go through my stickers, my tags, and my tags are from the digital print from Studio Calico, and I cut them out, and then I put some non-permanent adhesive from American Craft this to that, it's dot adhesive, and then I stick it on the tags, and then I can just pull it up whenever I need it. And this sticker book there is from American Craft, Yes Please, and I've used it a ton with these 28 layouts, because what I didn't have a lot of embellishments to go with this kit, because I only had the main and the Tink add-on, and it was really low in embellishments. So I went through my own stash and decided what I was going to use over and over again to try to get through my stash. And it worked so well. I went through almost half of that sticker book. And the die cuts too. I went through a whole bunch of die cuts and just a bunch of stuff that I had taken out. So it worked out really well. Now, next month's kit, which is Spencer's, which I'm going to start probably doing a layout with it tonight, and probably won't upload till Monday. I have a ton of embellishments. I probably won't have to take out anything from my own kit except for wood veneers and twine, because I love those two things. So I know I'm going to be taking some of that out, but it's loaded with stuff. So I can't wait to start scrapbooking with it. So I'm just kind of putting stuff down around the page where I want it. And again, where it was a full background of cardstock, I don't want to take away from that too much. So 2 of my clusters are around the photo, and that third cluster is at the bottom right. And that was a really plain paper that was there. It was just a diagonal stripe, and it was like a faint yellow. So the embellishment really showed up there, and I didn't feel like it was going to take away from the rest of the pattern paper. And then I went through my Amy Tangerine rub-ons, and I chose the word wonderful, and that's going to be part of my title. And then I'm going to start gluing everything down. I'm going to use my ATG tape, and I finally got to use some of that ribbon that we got in the kit. I took it out I don't know how many times, and it just did not coordinate with anything. And finally I got it to go with this page, and it even matches that little die cut camera that I cut out from one of the pattern papers. And I put some foam tape in behind that You Are Simply Wonderful sticker, and in behind my camera. And that top strip, the chevron, is where I'm going to put my title. And then I took out a couple of rub-ons, I guess. I took out that arrow that I just rubbed on at the bottom right, and the word wonderful, which will be part of my title. And then I went through my twine, and I only have maybe 1.5 feet left of that aqua twine, so I'm glad I ordered some more. And then I decided to stamp the date on that little sticker that I got pulled out from the sticker sheet from Amy Tangerine, and it says date, and I stamped the word fun day, and then the date, July 2012. And then I'm going to sew on my buttons using a thread and needle, and the thread is crochet thread, and it's kind of thick and it's not flimsy, and it sews on the button really good, and you can get a ball for like $5, and it lasts forever. I've had it for 3 years, and I use it quite a bit, and you can't even tell that I've used it. So for my title, I'm going to use my new stickers that I got from October Afternoon, and they're called Peacock Blue. And it's a wonderful color. It's a navy and an aqua, and it shows up so good on this page. So my title is just going to be Wonderful Photo Ops, because on top of the Empire State Building, the pictures you could get from on top of that building was just wonderful. It was amazing. I don't know how many pictures I took on top of the Empire State Building. I must have taken 300. I was just clicking away, and that's the fun part with digital, is that you don't have to develop it. I remember in 2001 we went to Disney, and I didn't have a digital camera. I had a film camera. I brought 70 rolls of film. 70. It cost me like $500 to get it developed when I get home, because films, you can't leave it in the roll for too long because it'll go bad. So I didn't want to risk it, so I got them developed all at once, and I got 3 copies of each, and it cost me almost as much as the Disney tickets. Now you go, you can take as many pictures as you want, and you can print them in smaller batches. That's more affordable. So I love digital. And I can tell you, way back when, I was probably the one that was the most nay against digital, because the very first digital cameras were really no good. So I was a big film advocate. But now that the digital cameras are so awesome, I love my digital camera. So I took out some heart wood veneers. I enamel dots. I balled up my twine. I added some glimmer glaze, a blue and a pink. And I'm going to show you a few close-ups of my layout. And if you want to see some pictures close-up, you can go to 2Ps or Studio Calico, or at the Facebook challenge if you join us. And my username is NicoleJones911, and you can have a closer look. So thanks for watching. Bye.